Submission Radio here with Richard Perez, post-fight UFC 241 brought to you by Musashi. Richard, I mean, what an astounding performance from Nate Diaz against a guy in Anthony Pettis that many believed would beat him in this return. Tell us, how are you feeling right now after seeing that victory play out the way that it did?
I'm glad that he got the win because I knew he was going to win, but you know how the tense is before the fight. But then when he started throwing in there, I knew he was going to throw some combinations and some kicks and knees and outbox him.
Now that it's sort of over and done, what was the game plan going into this fight?
He's won 3 rounds, so he knew he had to really he had to be busy.
Was that kind of an emphasis? Because it's funny, we were speaking how Nate usually is better in 5-round fights. You know, he kind of drowns guys, but he was able to do that in a much shorter time. Is that something that you kind of focus on in camp to sort of turn it on early?
Yes, we had to do that because we know it's only a 3-round fight, and he knew it. So his game plan too was to go in there and we talked about it, to throw more punches, whatever kicks. You know, he tried to tap him out, but Pettis got away. You know.
I'm wondering, do you think we're going to be seeing a better Nate Diaz at welterweight? I mean, he doesn't have to cut the weight. He looked strong. It looked like he put on even a little bit of muscle. He looked lean but bigger. Do you believe this is a better version of him at this weight class?
If that's where he wants to stay, yeah, I think so. I think it's a better weight class. But you know, who knows? Nathan, you know, you never going to pull out of the hat.
What do you think about Nate's pressure? How would you describe it? It's almost like it's very hard for guys to prepare for it. Anthony knew what was coming, but he wasn't really able to do anything to stop Nate's pressure.
That's the thing with people, you know. That's the way I train him. That's the way he trains. That when we go on the mitts or sparring, especially in the mitts, I try to make him throw as many punches as he can. So when he's in there, he can dominate more, you know, pressure him. And that's what he did with Pettis because everybody said he was going to kick. Sure, he did kick, but Nathan took that away by pressuring and throwing a lot of punches.
I'm wondering, obviously people are talking about this big money fight with Jorge Masvidal. Do you think that's the next fight, that most exciting fight that you'd like to see next for him?
Yes, because everybody wants to see it, but we'll see what happens. I mean, that sounds good. I mean, that's what I would want.
Between Conor McGregor and Jorge Masvidal as hypothetical next opponents, who would you prefer, Richard?
It's a little toss-up because
both exciting fights, right?
Yeah, they're both good fighters, and it'd be good because Nathan likes tough fighters.
It's interesting because even though Masvidal is not the champion, he's probably one of the most popular guys in the division. The championship is obviously exciting, but do you believe that is possibly, if that comes together, do you think that could be one of the biggest fights the UFC has put together in quite some time? Even though there's no titles involved, just the fact that both of these guys are such exciting fighters and such big names, do you think this could be another one of those situations like that first Conor McGregor fight, where it's one of those historic moments of those two guys can meet up in the octagon?
Oh yes, because it's all about money, you know, and the belt is not really important right now, you know. It's just about money right now, and that'd be a good fight, and everybody would want to watch it, either one of them.
I'm wondering, Masvidal is obviously a very good striker himself. Just at this point, how would you see a matchup like that go?
We would go back and work on it. Oh yeah.
What would you see Nate's biggest advantages over Masvidal in a fight like that?
Well, the advantage with Nathan is he's very smart up here. He knows what he's doing, and he keeps busy, you know, and people can't handle that.
We know that he's had a daughter. We know that fighters sometimes change when they have kids. You know, things kind of come into their priority. Did you notice a change in Nate in the training camp after he's had his first child? Is there a different sort of focus now that he's sort of in that situation as apart from before?
To me, no. Because he's always the same. When he comes to the gym, he focuses. He doesn't, you know, he doesn't show that, you know, oh, I have a baby. He knows he does. He gives her time. He gives his, you know, the family time. But when it comes to training, he's always there and focusing.
I think what people love about sort of this Jorge Masvidal fight is obviously that they're both great strikers, both very exciting fighters. How would you see the boxing sort of coming together and clashing, Nate and Jorge?
Well, if they do fight, it would be a lot better because this is like a tune-up fight. He did it. He was off for a while. People say he wasn't going to do it, but he did because he kept busy. So in this one coming up, he'll be a lot better.
I was going to say, you mentioned tune-up fight. Do you think this was the best Nate Diaz that we saw, or this was a Nate Diaz sort of coming back from a long layoff, and the next fight would theoretically be a much better Nate Diaz?
Oh yes, it would be a much better Diaz next fight. You know, because you've been off for a while, even though he's still trained, it does take a little bit off of you when you're in there, but he didn't show it.
Obviously, you mentioned it. The break was quite a long one. How much of a break would you like to see him ideally have between this now and the next fight? Let's say it's the right money on the table and it's this Masvidal fight. Would you prefer for him to come back a little bit sooner than these sort of longer breaks that we've seen him take?
Well, I need to go back, and we need to go back and talk and find out. I don't want to say, because I'm not the fighter, and I would wait.
Yeah. I was wondering, there was this epic photo that was released before the fight. Nick Diaz, you in the middle, and then Nate on the other side. What was it like being around Nick Diaz? I know you guys haven't hung around for a while. What did he say to you, and what was it like to sort of reconnect with him in a sort of epic photo like that before Nate's fight?
I was happy to see him. I hugged him. He hugged me. We said, hey, how you been? Because he hasn't been around. He does come, but not like always. And when I'm training Nathan, he wasn't there. I mean, he was over at the other gyms and stuff, and he'd go back to his home and come back. But yeah, it was really good to see him. I was happy to see him.
I'm just wondering, a lot of people wondering about his future. Do you think we'll ever see Nick Diaz return to the UFC and fight again, in your opinion?
Your guess is as good as mine.
I was wondering, are you guys on good terms now, you and Nick? I remember you told us a story a while ago, sort of, what happened with training and stuff like that. Are you guys on good terms now?
Oh, heck yeah. Oh, yeah.
Awesome. Well, for now, I think there's a celebration planned. Team Represent really doing it tonight. As we finish out here, tell us, what was the one thing? I mean, obviously you know how great Nate Diaz is, but in one word, how would you describe the performance that you saw tonight? What is one word that you think perfectly describes the win that Nate Diaz and the return that Nate Diaz had at UFC 241 tonight?
I describe it as an awesome fight, awesome win. I mean, he came out and did what he was supposed to do, and he had a game plan. He did it.
Well, it's a happy coach, Richard Perez. Of course, Richard Perez Boxing. Check it out. One of the best coaches in the game. Congratulations, Coach. We can't wait to see what happens next.
Thank you so much. Manteca, Richard Perez Boxing. Come on down there.